Hollywood's gonna Hollywood. They're very upset about what's going on with Iran. And there's some things that I didn't like either, but it does kind of look like that situation has calmed down a little bit if you've been following the news today. But Hollywood, as always, has an opinion, and I think it's always fun to take a look at what they have to say. We have a variety of jesters with this one, and I love their responses. Like this one from Ethan Embry. If you don't know who that is, he used to be in a lot of 90s movies. I don't know what he's been doing anymore. I'll show you what he looks like just in case you don't remember. But he said, 78 million effing idiots in America brought us here. Now, I don't know what this guy has been doing for the past 20 years, but he used to be in a bunch of movies when he was younger. Can't Hardly Wait. Remember that movie? I don't think it did very well, but man, Jennifer Love Hewitt was hot in that movie. He was in that movie. He's the lead. He was also on Empire Records. That Thing You Do. A lot of teen movies. Scream. Pretty sure he was in Scream. Let's see. What else has he got on here? Not a lot else jumps out at me. I'm just looking at this. What's he done recently? Not really much. This just backs up my point that when you see like the loudest ones, right? Like Ethan here, right? Sweet Home Alabama. Vegas Vacation, Disturbing Behavior, right? These are all pretty old. If you go to his recent stuff, he's got Alma and the Wolf, Blue Ridge, one episode to Gotham Knights, trash show, Grace and Frankie, 2022. Like, he didn't work for a few years, like barely. And I really think this is why when they do shit like this and say 78 million effing Americans brought us here, I call these like job applications. Like, hey, it's me. I'm still here. I'm still around. Can you give me a job? That's what it always comes off as to me. Because the ones that are working, sometimes they'll say crazy, dumb shit, but it's nothing like this guy. Now, Pedro Pascal does that all the time. He keeps getting work. Yeah, he's like kind of an anomaly. I'm so glad that he does that, though, because he's really going to help Gina Carano win that lawsuit. Mia Farrow, unprovoked, without imminent threat. Trump attacked a country without consulting Congress. Impeach him! Which Ariana Grande did as well, reposting AOC's call for Donald Trump's impeachment. Now, what's funny to me, right? Anything Trump does is bad, but any president they do, like that does the same thing that they like, is great. I don't know if you know this or not, but at least just talking with Grok, Obama and his administration dropped 26,171 bombs in 2016 alone on the Middle East. That was my question. How many times did Obama bomb the Middle East? And the answer is, in 2016 alone, 26,171 times, with an over 100,000 times estimated airstrikes and drone strikes globally across his presidency, the majority targeting Middle Eastern countries like Iraq, Syria, Yemen, and Libya. Where were the calls for impeachment? Oh, wait, there were none. You don't have to ask Congress to strike things. Now, I think to declare war you need to, but it's kind of the same thing, striking a country. It's like when we struck Iran with bunker buster bombs, I mean, that could have turned into war right there. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. There's been some, I think there's a ceasefire right now. Who knows? But Obama bombed the shit out of a lot of people. Where were the calls then? But then, see, the difference is these were bombs of peace then. Just a bunch of hypocrites, all of them. If Joe Biden did this, it'd be praised as the greatest thing ever, and it needed to be done. But because it's Trump, Like, they're attacking the pilots, saying they missed and all this shit. It's like, get out of here, man. Everything to attack Trump. There's Mark Hamill. Because, of course, all he thinks about is Trump. He doesn't even want to play Luke Skywalker anymore because it'll get in the way of him talking about Trump. I hate when I go to bed early on a Saturday night and wake up Sunday morning only to discover we've gone to war in the Middle East without the consent of Congress. I'm going to tell you right now, Obama bombed a lot of shit and never got the consent of Congress. He didn't need it because you gave a lot of power to the president after 9/11. And there's a lot of shit going on that I don't like. But this is hypocritical. They're always hypocritical. All these people do is show time and time again. And the reason I'm covering this is because it's just another example of their hypocrisy. Here's John Cryer from 2.5 Men. This guy hasn't done shit since that show. I don't know what he does. Like, he's looking for work. Considering how often he lies. We may have well bombed France. Why would we bomb? Like, that makes no sense. Stupid. It's dumb. George Takei. Bombing Iran is a way to distract from how your administration is bombing elsewhere. Lizzo. Just a reminder, they're not bombing for peace. They're bombing to assert dominance. War is never about what they say. It's always about money and who has the nuclear power. The U.S. is a military state. Ever since creation in 1787, it's been designed for war. We've never known peace. That's not true. That's not true. That's a very ignorant statement, actually. And it was about nuclear power in this time. I mean, I'm not a fan of it, but I also don't think Iran should become a nuclear power. That'd be just as bad as how North Korea has nuclear power. It's not good. It's not a good thing. In fact, it's a terrible thing for the world, for Iran to have nuclear power. John Cusack, another guy not really working. Trump throws world into terminal chaos. No one can win unless they put boots on the ground, which is something he never said he wanted to do and said that it likely wouldn't happen. So misery and death will reign supreme. Oh, and Trump has made sure Iran raises Israel and guarantees Iran will now get a nuclear bomb. Here's Bradley Whitford. President Bone Spurs isn't afraid to put men and women who volunteer to serve in harm's way. Oh, well, Joe Biden did a fantastic job when he left Afghanistan, didn't he? A lot of these people probably praised the way he got out of there, which was a disaster. Nobody was afraid of this country when Biden was the president. That's a fact. I'll tell you what, man, here's one thing I'll say about Trump that I really liked out of all this, is he gave them a deadline. They didn't abide by it. So he said he would take them down, and he did. I at least like that. When he makes a threat, he will deliver on it. Unlike Biden, who wouldn't do shit. Like, if he made a threat, you could just pretty much ignore it. Because he'd be sleeping somewhere, off on the beach eating his ice cream. And then, of course, there's Stephen King. Trump apparently doesn't want commerce with any other countries, just war. God, Stephen King, man, what happened to him? He was gone insane in his old age, just like Mark Hamill. A lot of them going insane, man. One of the best ways to not go insane would be to know that you're going to be able to get the Mighty Golden Patriot comic book before it closes on July 26th. You're going to want to check this out so you don't go insane knowing that you missed out on all of these crazy deals. Like the fact that you can get cover D for $17, which is an amazing price for this action-packed comic book. Or maybe you want to get some other stuff, like some shirts or some posters or the supplemental book, Tales from the Battlefield, for $6. Maybe you wanted an autographed CGC slab by me. 4 of them, all amazing. But you don't want to miss out. $17 for cover D. You're going to want to check this out because it's probably the greatest comic book ever made. So check out the description. Also, if you would, please subscribe. comment, like, share the video, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
The year is 1945. World War II rages from the halls of Buckingham Palace to the shores of the Nile River. Even now, the clash between freedom and tyranny is about to boil over. Somewhere in North Africa, 2 American flyboys are soaring high on a reconnaissance mission, searching for clues to a peculiar new obsession with the occult gripping the Nazi high command.